Are you ready for attunement?
Yes.
All right. This is where now we just spend a few moments getting ourselves mentally attuned for the foray ahead of us this evening. If at home you would like to try this, please do. Please. Don't we look a bunch of prats? That's enough of that. I've had enough of that. And I shall be drinking coffee, fully caffeinated, for the rest of the programme tonight as well. Good evening. Welcome. Whale is on tonight. We're talking about pornography. What is pornography? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Does it do harm? Should it be stopped? Should it be outlawed completely? What are your views on pornography? We'll be talking to all sorts of people during the course of the show, looking at some of your letters, and we have some music as well. The phone number to ring us on, coming up on the screen. Have a look. There we are. Yes, that's the phone number, 0532 46 1000. Or you can fax us. I can't think of the sort of faxes we're going to have. There's the fax number. So get to it, contact us. Oh, and this is because we've nearly been on air, believe it or not, with this programme for a year. So thank you very much indeed to Hazel Lane, who made the cake. In a week or so, we'll probably show you some of the old clips from the programme as well. The only trouble with this is tail broke off. That's doesn't matter. Right, little music. Now, Karen White has a new video out. It's great. It's called Secret Rendezvous. Here it is. Ha! Karen White. Sorry about that. Karen White and Secret Rendezvous. How you doing? Back in my little studio here. It's nice. You don't think this is a little loud, do you? I thought it was quite nice. Not too loud, is it really? Shall we have some calls? I think we'll have some calls, OK. Tim from Norwich. Hello, Tim.
Hi there, James. How are you?
Yeah, I'm OK, Tim. How are you?
You should reprimand some of your camera crew for the choice language before you went on air. Disgraceful, disgraceful, down the telephone.
Were they really being rude?
Oh, absolutely.
That's disgusting. Anyway, Tim, what can I do for you?
Yeah, just a quick question, James. On the continent, there appears to be sort of more rife-ism, if you like, on pornography and prostitution, etc.
Yeah.
But all the same, perhaps the rape cases over there are less. Do you think that perhaps if our laws were relaxed in this country, perhaps that might do something to help the rape victims?
Well, I have to be quite honest with you. My feelings on pornography are pretty mixed. I mean, I can't imagine why anybody would want to look at the sort of stuff that some people see with animals, and it looks disgusting, right? And we got in touch with people abroad, in Holland in particular, and we asked, what sort of problems do you have with pornography, and what sort of problems? They said, we don't have any. The police said, no, we don't have any. There's no real problem. It's only for you lot over there, where it's illegal, that the problem starts. So you could be right. Thank you very much indeed. Tony. Hello, Tony. No, Tony. Let's try Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, James.
Yes, Stephen's calling from London.
Love the shirt.
Do you like the shirt?
Yeah, I do indeed.
Thank you very much indeed.
Hi, anyway.
Send him a packet of these. Yes.
Well, speaking from someone who's quite a close relative of an ex-porno star, I'd like to express my direct contempt about, well, from the whole thing in general, really.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Have you ever seen pornography?
Oh, well, yeah, I've actually seen the relative in question, actually, in various magazines. And
Does it turn you on at all?
Well, no, it's my mum. It's my mum, actually. So, I mean, the thing is, that wouldn't sort of directly turn me on, no.
No, I see. It was interesting. So, your mother is or was a porno star.
That's right, that's right. It was quite a while ago now.
How did you find out about that?
Sorry?
How did you find out about that?
Basically, I found a magazine. First had been published in it and everything.
When you spoke to her, what did she say? When you said, look, this is a photograph of you, Mum, what did she say?
She denied it at first. And then, basically, I just got the whole truth out, and the whole story was relayed.
How did that affect, Stephen, your relationship with your mum?
Sorry?
How did that affect your relationship with your mother?
Not really. She was a bit cold at first, but after about sort of 2 or 3 months, it was fine. I mean, yeah, she's pretty open about it now. But it's pictures of she's got loads of magazines and things now. I've had a look at and everything.
You still look at these pictures?
Well, no, not in a sexual manner. No, I had a quick look out of curiosity at first. But
OK, Stephen. Well, that's an interesting call, Stephen. I don't know how it doesn't seem to have affected him. No. No,
it's all right.
Good, OK. If you can wake up just a little bit, it would be nice. Just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. Now, I think we're going to have another call from Kerry, actually. Hello, Kerry.
Hello.
Kerry's calling from Macclesfield.
No, I'm calling from Congleton.
Yeah, what do you want?
Sorry, I'd just like to say that I think porn's quite a good thing, because as long as men have magazines and pornographic movies to go and watch, it, you know, might stop them going out and committing rapes on women in our country.
Now, do you think, though, the interesting thing, Kerry, is, do you think that possibly some of these magazines, and the big story is, do these magazines lead men to be violent against women?
Well, no, I don't think so, because if we took the magazines away from them, surely there'd be more rapes, because there'd be more men who haven't got access to that sort of literature. How
do you feel? There's a magazine that's been advertised a lot on television recently, glorifying people going to the front line and killing people. I've forgotten what the name of the magazine is. It's irrelevant, really. Do you find that sort of pornographic, the sort of glorification of violence and killing that we see quite regularly on our TVs and in magazines?
It's different pornography, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's not nice.
Good, Kerry, thank you. Very good point. From Congleton, not from Macclesfield. Now, I went on... Can we have those? Thank you very much. That's very nice. Oh, some faxes. That's horrible, I don't know what that is, but still. Have a look at that. We went on a little excursion to London earlier this week to find out what is or what isn't pornography. And in this film, I don't want you to think I've got a big stomach. It's just the way I was photographed, OK?
Whaley goes to town.
It's rather nice here, isn't it, in Docklands? Not really the sort of place you would expect to find the offices of a girly glamour magazine like Penthouse, but sure enough, apparently it's just round the corner. Let's go and find out. You just draw these out and put them in there. Yeah. This is Steve. He's the art director of Penthouse. Now, Steve, you spend most of your time looking at photographs of naked women and then drawing them and touching them up, don't you?
Well, not touching them up in the way you're probably suggesting.
No, I wasn't, Steve. Believe you me, I wasn't. Don't you get fed up with looking at women after a while?
It's, I mean, I'm a designer. I do it as a job. I'm seeing them every day. The material doesn't turn me on at all. I mean, when I was younger, I was interested in this sort of thing, but now it's purely a professional job.
Do you feel, I mean, the question everybody asks, or the question that the critics of the glamour, soft porn business ask, is, doesn't it encourage people to look at women purely as a slab of meat, something to be consumed?
Well, I mean, for instance, on the shoot that you're seeing me design here, we went out to Orange in the south of France. I was the art director. We hired a good photographer. And the idea that we're working on at the moment is that the pictures are aesthetic and they work aesthetically and the sets work aesthetically. And you only have to compare Penthouse to one of the other magazines to realise we're taking a completely completely different direction from the other top shelf magazines.
Sandy, how does a nice, obviously Catholic boy get into this kind of business?
Well, I've been a journalist for 10 years, and I used to be on a rock magazine called Sounds.
Now, I can see you on Sounds.
Yeah.
You fit into that, but I cannot see you in the glamour business.
You might be the best journalist in the world, but it takes a certain attitude to work here. You know, a lot of guys might be great on the Times, but when they come to work in a magazine like this, the question is, can they sit down, discuss pornography, take it seriously, deal with that kind of thing from day to day? Some people can't, you know. So
whereas as some of your colleagues say it's glamour, you think it's pornography, do you, or no? Or
I use that as a generic term. I don't use it as a judgment of the material.
Now, Liz, you're the art coordinator.
That's right.
In fact, you're the only woman who works on Penthouse. Were you shocked when you looked at the magazine, the sort of explicit poses that there sometimes are in it?
At first, I suppose, before I actually took the job, I sort of had to flick through and I thought, ooh. But now I don't even think about it.
You don't feel that it's actually damaging to anybody?
No, I think people make their own decision, those who want to read it, you know. I don't think it hurts anybody. It's a bit of fun.
As a woman, Liz, I mean, do you find it degrading to women?
No, I mean, I think the models who are posing, you know, they're getting something out of it, they're getting money out of it. So it's up to them if they want to do it. I don't really care one way or the other about that sort of thing. You know,
you don't feel degraded looking at those pictures?
Because I know that the models are getting something out of it.
Now this is Paul. Paul is the features editor for Penthouse. Now the letters in the magazine, they're always a source of great interest to readers. I mean, I imagine that you have a team of people here in the office probably writing them out as we speak.
Not at all, not at all.
Some?
No.
Go on,
I can assure you that every letter we receive and publish is genuine. Every letter is written in by a member of the public. I mean, we've even got one here, which will hide the man's address, but I mean, that is a genuine letter that arrived on the desk this morning. Now, they are genuine letters. Whether they genuinely happen to the person who wrote that, the activities, is another matter. They are sent in by members of the public. We do not make up letters.
What worries me is somebody has spent quite a long time writing to Penthouse. I mean...
Well, that's why we say it may be their fantasy rather than the
they're getting
reality.
It down on the page.
And they're perhaps getting off on that rather than actually doing it. But they are genuine letters.
Answer me this, Paul. Would you describe Penthouse as pornography or not?
No, I wouldn't. I think that pornography... there are lots of things in this world that are far greater, far more obscene than pictures of naked women. If a woman if you go to bed with a woman, she takes her clothes off, there's nothing wrong with that. Why does it suddenly become so obscene? Because you take pictures of it. War, I think, is far more obscene than sex.
You see, the interesting thing, Paul, is that you say that the shops, the outlets for your magazine, impose a fairly stringent code of ethics on what you can and cannot show. But I've seen an advertising campaign on the television recently, it's on the radio, it's in the newspapers, for a magazine called Frontline, which is glorifying war. Does that sort of upset you a little bit?
I think there's a dreadful dichotomy in the fact that war after the Falklands, everyone was fated as heroes, rightly or wrongly, but war seems to be far more glamorous than sex. And if it wasn't for sex, none of this would be here. And yet, say, Sunday Sport wasn't allowed to advertise. Sunday Sport, when it first came out, was primarily about sex. It's changed now. But it seems odd that you can allow a magazine glorifying war, you can't allow a newspaper glorifying sex.
What do you think? Give us a call.
46 1000, James Whale.
Right, we're back. This is Diane Corr. Diane is the founder of Child Watch. And Diane, you believe that pornography is harmful. You believe that it encourages people maybe to abuse children, don't you?
Yes, I do. And it's been proved in America that 98% of child abusers have large stocks of pornography in their home.
Is it not fair to say that maybe quite a lot of people have pornography at some point in their home, but somebody who's been accused of child abuse, when they look around their home, yes, they find pornographic literature there?
Usually large, more than average, large stocks of pornography, usually found in convicted child abusers' homes. Usually kiddie porn, mostly.
What would you like to see done? I mean, first of all, if anybody is found doing child pornography, filming it, getting children to take part in it, they are severely prosecuted, aren't they? I mean, it's a long prison sentence.
Well, you've got to realise that child pornography is a permanent record of child sexual abuse.
How do you feel, though, about adult pornography, particularly of two adults who are obviously consenting to what they're doing and look as if they're enjoying it? I'm not condoning for one moment people being violent to women, but people who seem to be enjoying it as a stimulation to other people.
I think that sex is all about loving, caring and sharing, and that it's a private thing, and that it's the culmination of a friendship and a marriage or a long-term relationship, and it should be kept secret, it should be kept quiet between those two people, because it's a matter of respect for one another. And I think if you look at the analogy between cannabis being a soft drug and maybe leading to hard drugs, you can also look at soft porn maybe opening the door to becoming addicted to hard porn and then going from fantasy into fact and starting to abuse and raping women and abusing children.
During the putting together of this show, I tried to find some evidence, conclusive evidence, that was so. There is none.
That's because the Home Office hasn't seen fit yet to do any research into it, and I think it should be done.
Now, pornography is, in this country, illegal, and the sort of pornography you can obtain in shops is not nearly as explicit as the sort of thing that you can see if you go to the continent or to Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Yet they say there is a lot less sexual abuse and child abuse in those countries.
Well, they say that. But
are they lying?
Well, I think they are. You see, because we made a film with the a continental film crew called Throwaway Children, and we, in fact, saw children from all over the world that had been sexually abused and used in pornography, and it's a horrific problem.
I agree with you, but don't you think what you're in danger of doing if you try and bring down a much harder hand on people's sexuality in this country than there is, and it's pretty difficult at the moment. I mean, you're going to get people to go underground even more, and some people say that having things like cannabis, to use your own example, illegal, just puts people in a situation where they come across people whose only interest is to get them hooked onto something even worse.
But James, do you really think we need pornography? I mean, do we need it in society? No.
Do you
I don't
like looking at attractive men? Would you like to see them making love or not?
No.
But what about somebody who does? Do you think they should be able to if they want?
Well, I think that if we eradicated pornography from society, we'd have a lot less social problems, and that family life wouldn't be undermined as much as it is.
Hold it there for the moment, Diane. We're going to talk later, and you get your chance to talk to people who've been involved in soft porn anyway. Thank you. Diane very kindly talked to me. A lot of people wouldn't, who I wanted to come on and talk against pornography. They were frightened to come onto the show, which brings me to this.
Whaley's Wind-Up.
Now, each week I'm going to get wound up about one subject or another. And if you have any views, you can write and let me know. This week on Whaley's Wind-Up, these are part of our studio audience. They're very nice, aren't they? Very lovely, attractive people, and they all watch the programme, don't you? Yes. Right. Yes. Now, what I get totally fed up with, what I get fed up about is the fact that people often complain about this show. They write letters to people and complain, and they moan about it, and they say it shouldn't be on the television, we shouldn't do the sort of things we do, but there are always people who don't watch the programme. They don't seem to be included in the millions of people who do watch the programme. They're always the ones who get my name wrong. They get the time of day wrong. They haven't actually seen the programme themselves, but they know somebody who does. So I really want to say to those of you who don't watch the programme, you know, and are watching tonight, just to see if I'm a little too naughty about pornography. I'm not going to go over the bounds that I feel I can safely get away with, and if it's upsetting you, and if you feel a little inhibited by this programme, and you think I'm too sexist, and there are too many sexy women on the show, and you know, that I'm likely to show something sort of naughty, something like that, I mean, then perhaps you should turn off now. Perhaps you shouldn't watch the rest of the programme. Everybody knows what the programme's about, and it's on late at night. So Whaley's Wind-Up this week is to tell those of you who don't like the programme and feel it upsets other people, well, the millions who watch it don't feel so upset. Next week I'll get wound up about something else. Do you like that? It's rather nice, isn't it? I had that sent to me by the Uturia, oh, I can't, it's one of those long, what does that say? What's that word there? That one there. Okay, can you see that? Yeah, they sent it to me, thank you very much indeed, it's rather nice. Shelley, hello. Hello, Shelley.
Where are you calling from, sir?
I beg your pardon?
Where are you calling?
Oh, Shelley. Yeah, Shelley. Now, Shelley, you're I can phone you. If I give you my credit card number, you'll talk dirty to me, won't you?
Sir, what area in the world, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Yes,
England.
I can help you.
Well, I'm doing a television show at the moment which is looking at pornography, and she's gone. I wouldn't give her... Well, that was another I often get that happening to me. She cut me off. I'm most upset about that. What you can do, there are all these numbers you can ring. You quote your credit card number, and for as long as you want to go on, they'll talk dirty to you. Well, you could do the same by phoning me, couldn't you? Joe from Blackburn. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Yes, Joe.
A fortnight ago, James, I was in the Sun Telegraph about I was an ex-Salvation Army soldier.
Yeah.
And I do club act stripping off. And I don't think there's anything wrong in this at all.
You're an ex-Salvation Army
No, I'm a soldier, yes.
And you strip off?
Oh,
that's perverted. Get out of here. I don't want to encourage people to do that sort of thing. Derek from Coventry.
Hello?
Yes, Derek?
I'm from Ireland.
Oh, sorry. It says... What's wrong with this people?
Gory in Ireland. And I just want to ask you, do you agree in the sex phone-ins, the calls, like, do you think it like relieves sexual arousement for a person like who's willing to go out and rape, like, to get who got sexually aroused and then relieves to a pornographic or something like that?
I think there may be a case for that. Yeah, I think that if people find a way to express their sexuality and they can't actually get themselves a partner for some reason, then it's a jolly good job that there is some way they can do that, isn't there?
It is, I think so.
Thanks very much indeed, Derek. Dave from Sheffield. Hello, Dave.
Hello, James.
Yes, Dave.
I was going to ask you, why is the age to buy pornographic magazines 18 when you can go out and if you find somebody who's consenting, actually make love to them at 16?
It's a very interesting point because people don't think you're old enough to know about sex until you're 18. Silly, isn't it, really? Good point. Alison from Wolverhampton. Hello, Alison.
Hello.
Yes, Alison.
Hello. I've got mixed feelings about it, to be truthful, because I think that there's a lot of men that can look at a book and they know how to use the book. But you've got a minority of men that can look at a book and take...
That's very boring. Thank you very much indeed. Right, let's we'll take some more calls in a minute. Let's look at some faxes. Mac from London says, didn't think last week's show was up to your usual brilliant standards. A bit boring, he says. Suddenly the media cover... surely the media cover that sort of thing. Bring back the dinner girls in porn. Well, we haven't got the dinner girls for you. We've got some very attractive ladies coming up in the show a little bit later on, saving that for you. You could write in and tell me, actually. Do you think we're too smutty? Do you think we should sort of smarten ourselves up, or would you like to see a little more smut? Write to us. You know the address. We'll give it to you a little later on. George here. This was George. Showed you this one a little earlier on. George says, rude magazines are good, and that's why he always has one I can't read. That's disgusting, actually. Chris from London. Hello, Chris.
Oh, am I on?
I don't know, Chris. Are you?
Yeah, right.
Good.
Yeah, listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with pornographic magazines at all.
You don't? OK, fine. Thanks very much. James says... no, Tom, Elaine, Craig and Brenda from London say, we think porn is disgusting and be more civilised to your audience. We'll take a break. That's a very good shot of that bloke's head. Now, get him out or he'll be bounced. Now, welcome back to the programme. Dr. Vernon Coleman is with me. Vernon, of course, has written yet another book. He is probably the most prolific book writer in the world, I think. Is that, what do you think? How many books have you written now, Vernon?
I think this is about 40, which is not very many.
40?
Not very many.
Anyway, this book is called Sex for Everyone, and it's been all round the office. It's dog-eared. And I'm under strict instructions from my wife to take it home when we finish tonight. It's about all sorts of things to do with sex, including pornography, which you're not too against as a doctor, are you? You think in certain circumstances it does help?
I think you have to... It's difficult to start with to actually define what pornography is, because you can be anything, right from the very mildest picture of a woman with no clothes on all the way through to things with animals. I think what we have to remember is that pornography has been around for as long as people have been drawing on walls. The problem is that in the last century, Victorian times, people got very uptight about pornography. People got very uptight about anything that could be possibly construed as dirty. And so we developed all sorts of problems with pornography. Women in particular were encouraged not to allow themselves to admit that they ever used pornography or enjoyed it.
The thing I want to find out, and we haven't done yet, is what actually people feel is pornographic. I mean, is it... completely naked photographs of men and women together? Is it explicit shots of genital regions, or what? I mean, what is it?
Well, it's a word that really doesn't mean very much, because it's basically anything that people find upsetting, anything that turns you on. It's a word like infection, which doesn't really mean anything very much. It covers such a huge range of things.
Funnily enough, sexually explicit drawings, sexually explicit writings have quite often been tied up with religion, haven't they?
Oh yes, or way back in India and China, or any old civilization that you look at, sex and religion are always mixed up together. And priests, in fact, in Cambodia in the 12th century, when a young woman got married, a young virgin got married, she was deflowered not by her husband, but by the priest. They actually kept priests who did this job once a year.
Did they?
Yeah. Can you imagine what he would do on What's My Line?
Yeah. Right, let's talk to Stephen here. Steve's 21 today, and it's his birthday, so that's nice, isn't it? All right?
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yeah. Give him a little round of if you want to. Okay. Stephen has got this machine here. Now, this machine actually shows whether or not people are aroused. Is that right?
Yeah, not necessarily sexual arousal, but arousal as far as they go.
Okay, but we're talking about sexual arousal today because we want to find out whether men and women are aroused sexually in the same way or to the same degree. Now, you would say, Vernon, basically they are.
The big research that's been done in Germany showed that women are aroused in exactly the same way as men. And in the big survey I did for this book, we found that 63% of women readily admitted these days in 1989 that they are aroused by what is described as pornography.
Stephen, you've got them fixed up to the machine. Let's see. Who are we going to test first of all?
Well, we'll just put them both running at the same time, James, and if you just want to carry on and see if you can get a response from them.
Okay. Who should we start with? We'll start with the lady
start
first,
with Miranda,
shall we?
Yeah.
Are you? What's your name?
Miranda.
Miranda. Okay, Miranda. Are you sexually aroused or not?
I wouldn't say I was sexually aroused by pornography. I've never felt the need to look at it at all, but I'm not frigid.
You're not frigid?
No.
So if I say to you something along the lines of just think of a really hunky man, the sort of guy that you really fancy, he's standing there looking attractive, he's on a beach, desolate, he sees you, and my God, it's going off the
This is Miranda's. Miranda's is this one here.
Is that Miranda's, that one there? Okay, this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when I got up, she got a real peek.
That's right.
Okay.
In action, you know.
You're right. Well, that's good. No, that's good.
You're doing all right.
I'm doing
James.
okay.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
I think we've got a future here.
Now, this gentleman here, let me just move in. Your name is?
David.
David, okay. Hi, David. Now, David, are you a sexually active person? Give me that, Chris. Give me that. Do you sort of interested in sex at all, or?
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Have a look at this. Now, how is that registering, Steve?
Quite. Yes, he's getting a couple of responses there. Yeah.
I must.
Oh, there's a big one there.
There's what?
That was laughter.
That was laughter. Oh, I don't know whether it was laughter. I mean, let's find something else. I mean,
something obscene.
What does that do?
And there we go. That's the response for that one. You can see it quite high.
You have to show that to the camera.
No. I couldn't show that to the camera because I find that quite. Do
you find that worrying? Why do you find that worrying?
I don't know.
Why did you find it worrying that the chap from the Salvation Army was taking his clothes off?
I didn't really. But I find that sort of thing. I mean, this sort of thing here.
It's quite anatomical.
It's not really very attractive, is it? I mean, you want to see what we're looking at, don't you? It's that. But did you see that?
The page is coming
down. But you see, and that just looks as if they're sort of, you know. What do you see that there or not? I mean, just that. Fine. Sorry, you don't want to show that? No. Okay. Let's have a look, Steve. How did they go? Who was?
Well, you can see that if you look further on, you can see that the number of responses they're having has increased, and that when you give them something about sex or something like that, they have a large peak. So as well as so as well as
it's not true, by the way, that the size of a man's peak is of any concern to a woman. I think we should make that clear straight away.
Well, we can fiddle the size of the peak. It's got nothing to do with it. But you see, when we said peak there, they both had a response at the same time.
Yeah. So there's no real difference between how a man and a woman can be sexually aroused.
I think on the basis of this wonderful scientific experiment, which will be written up in The Lancet next week.
Well, good. It's nice to know that we are a sort of
breaking through the frontiers. Yeah,
good.
In fact, this program does actually, I've just been told, this program does actually count as an Open University course now.
Yes, you can take a degree in whale, and we'll be telling you more about that a little later on. Now, we've got a video exclusive on the show. I was going to say world video exclusive, but Vernon earlier said to me, well, why not intergalactic? So intergalactic exclusive, first showing on TV. And to all the people I hope to meet up in Dundee when I go there next Thursday, we'll dedicate this to you. Philip Boa and the Voodoo Club and Container Love.
Container Love.
Wales on live tonight, right around the entire British Isles, and welcome to the programme. Now, you may be wondering tonight, where have the pretty girls gone? We're talking about pornography. Nobody had seen any women, only photographs of them, and I was keeping it, you know, just so we built up the excitement a little more. Now, may I introduce to you my two next guests on the programme tonight? They are Lindsay Drew and Marie Harper. Lindsay is the editor of Penthouse, and Marie is the editor of a new magazine, a new soft porn magazine, would you call it or not?
Yes, soft porn magazine.
Called
Same as Penthouse.
Electric Blue.
Erotic entertainment, I prefer to
Yeah.
call it.
Erotic entertainment. Now, these two delightful...
As you wish.
I do, yeah. These two delightful girls not only appear in the magazines and also answer readers' letters, don't you?
Yes. And write various bits
And write various things.
Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously got to be very clever to do this. Why do you have the necessity to take your clothes off?
No, we started as models. And we learned that side of the business, and then you just sort
Well,
of...
our experience, I mean, we've both been modelling for about 10 years, and...
You're getting on a bit.
You get into...
Yeah, well, you can tell, can't you?
Are they getting on a bit or not?
Don't ring in and say we are, or James will cut you off.
Yeah.
So, no, we just know the punters who read our magazines, and I suppose our experience...
We've got to know how it works, and so it's an obvious movement from one side to the other.
Yeah. Do you think that... pornography is likely to turn people onto violence against women? It seems to me that that is the main criticism and the main problem, women and children being
Sex
involved.
and violence has gone on when time began.
The correlation...
Not since magazines started.
One at a time, one at a time.
I can't see any correlation that anyone's going to look at a copy of something like Electric Blue or Penthouse magazine. They're going to look at it, they're going to see a beautiful woman, they're going to get turned on, they're going to go to bed happy. They're not going to think, oh, I feel really angry, let's go out and...
I
can't see the correlation.
Stop a minute, and I'll come to you now. Marie, answer me this question, all right? Marie, tell me, do you think that people who look at Electric Blue, and I mean, I've got a copy of your magazine here somewhere, where is it? Is this it? Oh, yes, here we are, Letters to Marie. And I mean, it's a pretty funky, magazine. It's not, it's got you in all. In fact, I find it very difficult to find one I can show to the camera. In fact, I can't.
That is a men's magazine.
It's a men's magazine, and
exactly.
I would probably be taken off the air if I was to show any of these. This is you here. This is one up the top here. Is you, right?
Yes. That's
okay. And if I was to take my hands down, I'd be in a bit of trouble. A man goes out and reads that, gets really turned on, goes out and rapes a woman.
But then, what about the guys who rape people before magazines were invented?
Excuse me, can I say...
Rape has gone on since time began.
Why should it make violent?
Lindsay?
No, if you've got a warped mind...
Excuse me, Marie, just a minute.
Ask me the question.
Yeah, but let Lindsay come in. You've answered it, I agree. Why they did it before magazines?
If someone's got a warped mind to rape someone, then they will rape someone whether they read magazines
Your point
or
you're trying to make is that this sort of thing went on before these magazines were on, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, Lindsay.
I'm just saying, you say a man reads it, he gets turned on, and that's a sex act. Rape is an act of violence.
Yeah,
it's got very little to do with sex. It's about
very little to do with magazines.
What you're saying, stop it now. What you're saying is that if a man is going to go out and rape somebody or commit a violent act, I am speaking, shut it now or I'll lose my temper.
No, I'm sorry.
What you're saying is a man is going to go out and commit this act whether or not he reads
He's seen a magazine.
If a man wants to go out and rape someone, if he sees a traffic light turning from red to green, that could set him off, you know.
That is a fact.
Do you think, listen, I have to come over here so I can actually physically get to grips with you and shut you up talking at once. Now, you've dressed up. I mean, you wouldn't normally go out dressed like this, would you?
For an evening out, we would go dressed like this, yes.
Marie, come over here. Come over just over here to twirl, because, I mean, this is getting everybody at home turned on, isn't it? You don't think it's going to encourage anybody to be...
Can I do a twirl as well?
Yeah, both of you go out and do a twirl. I mean, I can't speak to you. Yeah, go on. There.
It's part of the old...
What?
The old...
Image. Now, well-known people go out...
We don't go out like this through the day. And
you don't?
Also, the people who get raped don't go out like this. They're women who've been married for 20 years and wear headscarves. They're the people who get raped.
So, do you think you're doing a service to men?
I'm not answering because I can't get a word in edgeways.
You come and sit down here beside me. Leave her up there. Go on.
All right.
You know why...
Stay there. Answer the question.
That's difficult to say.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a disservice to men.
But you enjoy the job. You don't feel, I hate men.
No,
I don't.
I wouldn't have been doing it for as long as I have.
Okay. What do you think? Call us. We'll take a break.
Out apart, the James Whale Radio Show!
Okay, the James Whale Show, live from Leeds tonight, and welcome back. We're talking about pornography. We will be back to the girls, and we'll be back to Diane and Vernon as well when they've calmed down in a few moments. But first, some of your mail. Don't forget, if you have any views on the programme or if there's something you would like to say about what we've been talking on, you can write to us at this address, Wales Mail, care of Yorkshire Television, the Television Centre, Leeds, LS3 1JS. And a few letters came in. Margaret Smith in Hexham, we were talking last week about education, said, Sir Rhodes Boyson was my headmaster and I agree with him about corporal punishment. It made me behave. I was scared of him. Ugh. And Ian in London says, for some reason that escapes me, it's socially acceptable to watch films penetrating women with blades and bullets, so often in a post-sexual scene. But get your pecker out and you're off the air. Censorship uses the wrong parameters and doesn't work anyway. We had lots of letters. I'm only going to read those two because we're running out of time. Thank you for them. Don't forget to send them in. And Max, Nathan and Ursula, who is a page 3 girl, sent us a fax, and she said, I'm undecided whether the share video is pornographic or not, so could we possibly see it again? Thank you very much indeed. We might have that in a few weeks. Do you have something for me there? I see Lois' messages passed to me. Let me just have a look. All right, okay, so the competition this week, we're coming up in a minute. That's what the competition is. You see, we like to keep right on the edge. Now, you remember last week we set the competition, what do the 3 R's stand for? And of course they stand for reading, writing and arithmetic. Everybody knows that. But we had some very interesting answers, and here are some of them. L.R. Hall, one of our regular viewers in Birmingham, thought they stood for religion, reading and rest break. So he was wrong. Lee Radford, of no fixed abode, had rudeness, rebelliousness and redundancy. Muffin the Mule in Pinner. I see. Rooting, Rogering and Rumpy Pumpy. That was a rather good one for this programme, wasn't it, really? And from Philip Leddy in Coventry, reading, writing and spelling. I see. Alan Campbell in Lanark said, I think free arse means someone with very loose morals. You all got it wrong. Tough. Now, we got some right answers in here. So, oh, God. Oh, hang on, I better put that back in. Right. Marie. Lindsay. Lindsay. Marie. Thank you. That's fine. Lovely. Good. I'd like to get it all up now. The winner of this is, reading, writing, arithmetic, is Mrs. P. Curtis from Sunderland, Tyne and Wear. Good. Hello to you. Thank you. Now, we're sending you some very interesting videos in a plain brown wrapper. Very interesting indeed. Watch with Mother is one of them, okay? That's good, right, so those will be coming to you. Now, back to our conversation. Is there anything else I've forgotten to do? Have I forgotten to do anything? I don't think I have I? What? Oh, this week's competition, yeah. This week's competition. Who would you like to see as a centrefold, all right? Tell us who you would like... Ignore them. Who would you like to see as a centrefold?
Where would you put the staple?
Behave. I'm hoping nobody heard that.
I'm sorry, that's plural.
Claire Rayner wouldn't want to be a centrefold. Now, shush. If you have a really unusual suggestion as to who you would like to see as a centrefold, send it to us and you could win a fantastic prize. A night out with these two. And your ears will be sore afterwards, believe you me. Diane, seriously now, joking apart, Lindsay and Marie have both sort of said they don't feel that what they do harms or encourages people to any kind of sexual violence at all, or to child molesting, which is what you're most interested in. What's your answer to that?
Well, there are 2 points I want to make. The first point I want to make, I've never heard anything so stupid as the remark that was made just before about only 20 women who've been married for 20 years with headscarves get raped. I mean, what kind of brain invented that kind of statement? The second thing that I want to say to you is that pornography is big money.
Which is why these two ladies do it, of course.
Exactly, yeah. Yes. And this big money outweighs all moral standards and any other beliefs in decency, because they make a lot of money and so they don't care about what pornography does to people, how it affects them.
Yeah, but you heard earlier when I was talking to Vernon that he doesn't think sort of sexually explicit literature and pornography used in the right way is damaging at all.
But why, James, do we have to have it in the first place? Why do we have to have pornography?
People enjoy it.
There's
I think if you start arguing
that,
along those lines, what you're effectively doing is saying let's have censorship for the sake of censorship, because I don't like this. And if you do that, then you go to the point where you say, I don't like football, I don't like the James Whale show, I don't like radio. We must stop things that somebody doesn't like. And you can't do that in our society.
Marie, shut it for one moment.
The other thing which I think is relevant to point out is that every time in any society when people have tried to ban something, and people have tried to control it, it's got worse. In Prohibition in America, when they stopped people drinking alcohol, the consumption of alcohol went up, and the number of crimes associated with alcohol went up too.
Okay.
And I think that is exactly what will happen.
Let Marie have a word, Vernon, before she bursts a blood vessel.
I wasn't saying that people who've been married for 20 years are the target for rape. What I was saying is you don't have to dress tartly, or you don't have to go out in miniskirts to get raped. If someone's going to rape someone, they have that mind to rape someone, they will rape the first woman that comes along.
But couldn't they be turned on by looking at a picture of you like the pictures we've seen in this magazine? I mean, this one here,
which is exactly
this is
what
Lindsay.
Which is exactly what I said before. Why did they rape? Why did they rape before men's magazines came out? What happened?
Well, before men's magazines came out, they used to draw on walls, didn't they?
Yeah, but why was the inclination to rape them?
Why do you find it necessary to expose yourself in a magazine, to expose your body? I thought a woman's body was very private, very precious thing. Why do you debase yourself in this way?
No, you thought that was, but that's not. I'm sorry, but that's not everybody's opinion.
I think my body's nice,
different.
and I want to show it, and I enjoy
everybody has
it.
different
People
attitudes.
enjoy seeing it.
Don't you
Can I just, hang on just a minute. Marie,
you haven't all got
all right,
an
Marie,
attitude.
stop hogging the conversation. Lindsay, do you actually get turned on yourself when you appear in some of these very raunchy photographs? Do you actually find it sexually exciting to yourself?
Depends on the day. Sometimes you're not in the mood, you just want to get home and have your tea, or, you know, and other times you get incredibly turned on. If the makeup artist makes you look lovely, the photographer treats you nicely, you feel very nice. And sometimes you get turned on. Other times you just can't wait to get home and you've had enough of it, you know. So, I mean, it's different days, you feel differently.
It's a job.
Would you ever, I mean, I've seen some fairly sexually explicit photographs of both of you tonight. My eyes have been opened wide. Would you ever consider going in or encouraging people to be involved in really hardcore pornography, nasty sort of stuff?
No, you wouldn't encourage anybody.
Okay, we've heard from you, Maria, right? You wouldn't, would
you? When you say nasty stuff, I mean, I think men and women making love, two consenting adults making love, I see no reason why I shouldn't be able to watch it like you can the Americans or the Scandinavians.
Okay. Vernon, you feel that if they were going to get rid of it, it would be dangerous because they would go underground, right? It'll have to be a yes or no.
It certainly would go underground. You can't possibly get rid of it.
Okay, and Diane, you will continue to fight against it, presumably?
Yes, I will, because it creates the most horrible problems for people.
Right, we've got to leave it because we've got some music to finish up on, and some nice live music, actually. I think you're going to enjoy this. A new band called DeMilo, which is quite appropriate when you think about it. And if you have any views on pornography or anything else on the show, I want you to write to me. In the meantime, have a nice weekend. From all of us on The Whale Show, goodbye.
The look in your eye, your guilty feeling was so sublime. I know that you were bothering me. I would tell you if you should leave, but I can't live without your love. Now, hey, you feel the touch of love. But I got you, I got the power. You see the in darkness, yeah. But I can't live without you, girl. Now, I said I can't live without you, love. Look at me, it's plain to see that our love is meant to be hero. You feel the touch of a love in a hand. Yeah, I was there to understand. Well, I got you, I got the power. You see within my darkest hour, yeah. I can live here it is. can't live without your love. I can't live without you. Look at me, there's been a sin. That I love us never be well. I can't live without you. Can't live without your love. I can't live without you. Love. I live without your love.